This one will be a shorter one, I promise. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to AW Films. Today I want to talk to you all a bit about how I plan to reshape this channel for the future. Up until this point, you know me for doing vlogs and tips and tricks videos, showing you my gear, all that kind of thing. But very slowly I want to start kind of adding in and kind of drip feeding the odd sort of documentary style film and short films in general. For me, I'm really interested in documenting and kind of experimenting a bit more and exploring people's own stories. And I do feel like that is more my kind of direction. So as far as the future goes, and I'll talk about documentaries and short films that I want to make, you guys may have seen quite a while back, Liz and I attempted to create a short film on mental health and escaping mental health. We called it The Escape, which we felt like was definitely a learning curve. But the fact was that kind of because it was so heavily involved in what we were going through mentally, we just found it very hard to keep going. We had very little experience in telling any kind of story visually or, you know, narratively. It became very hard. It was actually affecting both of us, you know, emotionally and mentally as well. My original thinking with it was, you know, maybe this would act as a sort of therapy for us in a way, because, you know, at that time both of us weren't in the best places mentally, shall we say. Not wanting to get too deeply into it. We started shooting it and, you know, kind of investing in the, you know, the costumes. You guys saw us in the overalls that we sort of had as the kind of prisoner kind of escape typical uniform, if you see what I mean. And that whole thinking was, you know, it was great fun. You know, it was great fun to plan out and kind of really research a few locations and kind of tell the story around how these two characters physically then literally escape or attempt to escape their mental problems. But I think it was just having too much of an effect on us, and it just became very hard to sustain, quite honestly. I think, you know, that was definitely a lesson learned. You know, don't, if possible, don't shoot films or documentaries about too personal topics, if you see what I mean. You know, try and steer away from your own life, I think, is the key. You know, shoot them about other people's lives, not yours. Because, you know, you can become very caught up in your own head and obviously planning it all through in your head. You know, you're just kind of going in circles with it, and it can be quite detrimental, quite honestly. That was a brilliant experience, and I do really enjoy, you know, looking back at that and seeing, you know, well, this was where we were going wrong, you know, and just kind of picking it apart and analysing, you know, why it didn't work, if you see what I mean. I feel like that was kind of our first introduction to this style of filmmaking, you know, this style of documentary slash, you know, cinematic filmmaking, you know. As far as these future documentaries go, I want to focus more on other people's lives and just generally exploring what their story is, what they have to tell. Because I think what kind of drove me into this recently was on our trip to Wales. It was actually our last day in Wales, and, you know, Liz and I both got up very early. You know, we were expecting to get the something like the 9:10 bus back into the main town near to where we were staying. From there, we were planning to get the Virgin train back to London, Euston, and then eventually get home in good time. We came out of the cottage, you know, we checked out, put all the keys back, left it all immaculately tidy, and headed to the bus stop, which was just a little walk up the road. And we waited around. We had sort of 15 minutes to spare before the bus came, and no bus showed up. So we waited around for another kind of half an hour. We were sort of walking, each of us taking turns to walk back and to and from the house to get Wi-Fi and look up different taxi services. There was no kind of cellular coverage in the village as well. We were literally in the middle of nowhere, totally stranded. and it was a Sunday, everything was closed. Oh God, it's just a total nightmare. Somehow, just by chance, a very kind man pulled up, having just dropped his fostered son off somewhere near the village, and he sort of shouted to us through the window, do you want to lift to Carnarvon, the town nearby? And Liz and I kind of looked to each other, and we thought, oh God, we got no other option, so slung our bags in the boot and off we went. And both of us, having not hitchhiked before, it's not something that you should do often, certainly not on your own, but both of us were a little bit wary. And he was this funny little man with kind of scruffy looking beard, scrawny face, and we thought, God. But this guy had the most incredible story to tell. Recently, a few months ago, he'd had a serious stroke on his brain, and he was kind of hospitalised for weeks, and doctors and nurses told him he wouldn't walk again, and his chances of surviving were very narrow, very slim. And he started talking about how he used cycling as a means of escaping it and kind of rebuilding his life, if you like, physically and mentally. We sort of looked at him and we couldn't believe, just how deep this story was he was telling. He was clearly one of these guys who, really gets a real buzz out of doing just good things for people. I mean, don't we all, but he was really one of these. He just started talking about how he recently started getting into kind of foster care and fostering kids and helping them out with all these mental issues and stuff. And that was something that really kind of resonated with us. Having done this film before and been there with different mental illness issues, and it was just amazing. The fact that this random guy just pulled up out of the blue and very kindly offered us a lift, for nothing in return. And just the story he had to tell, like the fact that he had come back from this stroke and was told he'd never walk again, and yet there he is. He told us he was doing Ironmans that year, the big sort of cycling events, and he just looked like a regular guy, just driving us along as normal through the ice and snow. I sort of spoke to Liz after he dropped us off and said, that's the kind of story I want to capture. That's the kind of film that I want to make. This was in the space of 20 minutes, he was telling us about all this. And, to think what you can capture on film about these people's lives is, it's inspiring. And that is where the future of this channel is heading. That's just sort of a quick update, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I have in store for this channel. Obviously, in the meantime, I will kind of continue to do these talking to camera, giving you guys kind of tips, tricks, and share my experience with you, because I hope it helps some of you. But I do want to focus more on kind of documentary filmmaking and just really telling the story. I can't wait to get some films out to you guys. I am currently waiting to pick up a second lens just to achieve some better results, but following that I shall be making some kind of 5-10 minute long short films / documentaries. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.